Welcome to the Militia Gaming community. I'm Trigger, and today we find the real answer to the question, is Need for Speed Heat trash? Let's go! Alright, before I get into the video, just up or it on the website. So I've got Escape from on Instagram or Twitter. Your opinion on this is determined by a number of different variables that are really different for each person. So I don't think anything I say in this video will cause a grand epiphany for everyone, uniting the entire Need for Speed Heat community and having us holding hands and singing Kumbaya over a campfire. I do think that we can come to an agreement on certain aspects of the game though, and then maybe establish a general consensus as to whether the game deserves the trash label. Still, there will be some of you who wholeheartedly disagree with everything I'm about to say, simply because I'm the one saying it, and to those people I say, please meet me in the comments. Alright, I asked the question on my Twitter a few days ago and received quite a few responses, so let's put a tally on the screen and I will read through them. Here we go. Heat was okay, having to deal with support cut short, netcode, and no PvP hurt its lifestyle. It had some things going for it, but left a lot on the table. So for me, that's a meh. Wouldn't call it bad, I'd call it mediocre. It's a game with bare bones online mode and horrific clipping. The game overall looks like they were onto something, but I suspect the shutdown of Ghost Games is why the game only went halfway. So again, another meh. I honestly agree with the game being mediocre. For me though, I feel the vibe they went for Heat wasn't bad, but I would like to see them full send into a game with an atmosphere like Need for Speed 2015. Again, another meh. It's not a bad game, but I feel like they could have done better if EA Games did not pull the plug on DLC content. As it stands, it's an awesome game, it just could have used a little bit more content. So I'm going to put that in the good category. No, but it could have been better. That's a meh. Well, the game has had a lot of netcode and the balancing of cars were uneven just like Payback. Another thing is that the game had a major lack of updates with no improvements being made to make it run better. I'd consider it a bad development of a Need for Speed game. So that's one for the bad category. It was fun but heavily flawed. So I'd put that in the meh. The game's kind of mid. Definitely does some good things, but my big complaint is the art direction of the game. Feels like a weird mix of 2015 and Payback. That's in the meh category. It's another Need for Speed failing the basic formula of modern racing games, so I'd say yes. So that one's in the bad category. That's going to go into the meh category. Bad? No, but getting bored very quick. So I'm going to put that in the meh category. I have very little bad to say about Need for Speed Heat. I still play it a lot, same with Forza Horizon 5. We can put that in the good category then, and that's in the meh category. While I do believe Need for Speed Heat is the best game of the Ghost era, arguably the best game of the 2010s, it falls short to the peak of Black Box for a variety of reasons. And then this person goes into the reasons we won't talk about, but basically he says that it is a meh game. It wasn't a great game, but it wasn't a bad game. Half and half. We'll put that in the meh category. So that guy says it's good. Next, Maxi says it's a good game. Angel says, en mi opinion, no es un mal juego, which means no, it's not a bad game. But he goes on to explain what would have made it better. So we're going to put that one in the meh category. Another one in the meh category. No, it's not. It's an amazing game that just needs to be tweaked with bugs. Boom, that's a good one. Saku says, kinda. The multiplayer mode is basically non-existent, and I believe he meant non-existent. So we'll put that in the bad category. Fahar says it's decent. Austin says no, it's not trash. We put that one in the meh category. We put both of those in the meh category. Another meh. Vance says it was great until it wasn't. So we'll put it in the meh category. Ramvi says, no, just an above average game. I enjoyed my time there, but I didn't want to spend more. And Eric Babcock says, Heat is the most fun I've had playing a game. Forza Horizon 5 is great. GT7 has been awesome, but Heat was more fun than either of them. So I'd put that in the good category. Skies says, hell no, thinking That's probably in the good category. And Juice says it was very fun, but alas, lately Need for Speed games just don't seem to hold me. But I don't think it's particularly bad. I really would have liked to see how it could have gone with actual support from the devs. So I'm going to put that in the meh category as well. So the majority of the people on Twitter say the game is just average, right? It's not great, but it's certainly not bad. But this is a very small sample size. The Need for Speed Heat community is literally millions of players. So I decided to put a poll up on my YouTube channel to get some more opinions, and here are the results. Only a small percentage of people think it's a trash game and are regretting buying it. The majority of the community thinks it's good or a mediocre game, so why do I continuously get comments like these? I think the answer to that is that the internet is full of opinions, and the loudest tend to be the most that is a mediocre. So why do I continuously get comments like these? I think the answer to that is that the internet is full of opinions, and the loudest tend to be the most salty. So I guess we have to take those comments with a grain of salt. And that's probably how you should take my opinion as well, since I'm just a single player of the game. I just happen to have a small platform to shout from, so it may just seem like what I'm saying is more important than it really is, but it's not. But what are you saying, Trigger? You're just blabbing right now. What I'm saying is that I certainly don't think that Need for Speed Heat is a trash game. I think that label should be reserved for things like the McRib and whatever these things are. But to get serious for a moment, I want to talk about my pros and cons list for Need for Speed Heat. Let's go through the cons first so that we can end this video on a positive note. Con: short/forgettable story. I've played Need for Speed Heat for more time than 90% of this community, and I literally can't tell you any details of the story other than we had a problem with the police taking racers' cars and then we got them back at the end. The story was so forgettable and so short for me. When I think about Need for Speed Heat, I certainly don't think, oh man, that was a great story. Con: clipping. This is by far one of the most annoying problems with Need for Speed Heat and its map. Little sharp edges of the structure of the map and the road stick up all over the place, causing your car to clip on them and jump or flip. This was especially frustrating for competitive players who are going for times, but even just casual racing with friends, your car would bounce, you lose control of it, and then all of a sudden you're into a building or a gas station or a barrier. Con: netcode in multiplayer. This is more frustrating than clipping for me. Every single stream we had issues with people bumping into each other due to the netcode being so horrible. This is something that needed to be fixed from day one and it just was never addressed. Con: lack of content/support. This is definitely something the whole community can agree was missing from the game. Once you've completed the short campaign and leveled yourself to 50, there really isn't much else to do besides race with your friends. And speaking of that, another con, no true multiplayer experience. Obviously, there are multiplayer lobbies and you can race random people, but there were no global leaderboards or speed lists or ways to compete with the rest of the community. This definitely hurt the longevity of the game for many players. Alright, let's move into the pros. Pro, excellent day-night mechanic. I absolutely love the way this game asks you to play. You earn money in the day and rep at night. It's a mechanic I really hope they keep in future releases of the franchise. Pro, challenging police chases. For the most part, the cops in video games are pretty easy to run from, but in Need for Speed Heat, especially early in the game when you don't have a fast car yet, the cops are actually a big challenge for most players. And I think that makes the game super rewarding when you figure out how to survive the nights and level up. Pro, it's got the best customization in racing games. The street style of customization in Need for Speed Heat is definitely the best in any racing game to date. I hope they expand on this in future Need for Speed games. It is definitely my favorite customization of any racing game out there. Pro, full speed cornering. The physics of Need for Speed Heat are absolutely bonkers. They make no sense in real world applications and I love it. I love being able to hit a corner at 230 miles an hour, kick the rear end out and slide around it. It's by far my favorite thing about Need for Speed Heat when I compare it to other racing games. I hope they keep this handling model going forward, although because we have a different development studio for the next game, I think it will change. Pro, the visuals. This one is very subjective, but I appreciate the visuals in Heat. I thought the lighting and the weather changes were really nice, the car models looked great, and the overall styling is definitely in a league of its own. It puts off a very nice street race vibe, and that is awesome to me. So in summary, the things that I like about the game really overshadow its issues, and therefore I think it's a good game that could use a little bit of work to become a great game. Hopefully that's what we get with the next iteration of the franchise, but only time will tell. Alright, so where does that put us for this video? I asked the question, is it trash? And clearly the community that follows me doesn't think so, and I definitely is it trash? And alright, so where does that put us for this video? I asked the question, is it trash? And clearly the community that follows me doesn't think so, and I definitely agree with them. I still enjoy playing Heat with you guys, and I invite everyone to my weekly races. All players from all platforms and all skill levels are welcome to join in on the races every week, so keep your eye out for my next stream announcement. And lastly guys, if you do like to follow real car builds in real life, I have a second channel that I'm building a 2004 Acura RSX, but that